Planet Jupiter is on the move, and it's turning what off?
It is. It's turning off the money. Jupiter is the money faucet to me. And the way, you have to understand the ebb and flow of the planets. They go forward, and when they go forward, you start a whole bunch of things. And then they stop, and they go retrograde, meaning mooning backwards. And when that happens, and they do that for 4 months, and it's very, very predictable, and it happens within days of it. And the problem with that is when we're in the business of creating new things, we think it's going to last forever. And when we're spending, we think we're going to have money forever. And the trouble is that when it stops and goes retrograde, the money faucet turns off. You keep spending thinking, oh, it'll pick back up next week. But it's not going to pick back up until July when it goes direct again. So,
ouch.
For businesses, that means whatever you've already put into motion, stop and bring that to fruition. Do everything you can about that rather than hunting for new business, because you're not going to have a lot of success. So you want to finish up stuff you've already started. So I think everybody needs to know where the money faucet is, or what the abundance faucet is going to be turned off in their lives. So for Pisces, the sign that we're in, Jupiter is in Scorpio, so it's the 9th house of the law. Legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance. If you're negotiating any kind of contract for money, you will have already gotten your very best deal. So you can't really hope to get more. You want to go ahead and accept what it is, because if you hold out for more, you're going to end up getting less. For Aries, this energy is in the 8th house of other people's resources. And Aries have been trying very hard to maximize existing resources, to maximize the resources that they share with other people. Well, all of that is in effect now. Now you want to sit back and see the fruits of that, whether it worked or not, and give it 4 months to see whether or not the investments were good. If they weren't, then you want to pull them. But it really is just, you've got as far as you can with other people's resources, and you need to build on that. For Tauruses, it's in the 7th house of partners and their public image, and they have gotten a lot of you're in charge kind of stuff, and they're not going to get any more you're in charge kind of stuff, but they're going to work within what it is they already have, what they already have going on, which is good for Pat, because that probably means no more additional babies.
But
you can never
she's
tell.
Ready for no more grandbabies.
No more. 4 is plenty. So for Geminis, our beleaguered president, this is in the house of work and health and responsibilities, and they have tried very, very hard to build a new structure to work inside of. They've been doing that since November. Well, that structure is pretty much complete now. So now what they need to do is to go ahead and make sure that they fulfill the things as far as this work structure that they've created. It's not a better job per se. It's a better environment to do their job. Is the stuff you've already put into motion, go ahead and continue. And then if you're trying to lose weight, it's a good time to start doing that if you're a Gemini. For Cancers, it's in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, and pleasures. And there really is no bad news with that. If you were trying to get pregnant during this time, you're probably not going to have a lot of success during the next 4 months or so, and you need to give your body a bit of a break. But it's a good time for anything that is creative, starting the creative process, not bringing it to fruition, but kind of giving it the creative power to unleash your creativity and see where it goes. For Leos, it's in their 4th house of home and foundations, things that are most important to them at the core of where it is they live. They may want to refurbish it, they may want to remodel it, whatever kind of ambitious plans they have, they need to scale them back a little bit to something they can actually manage. But it's a time of really working. You've made a lot of changes in your home, and now you want to solidify that and make it a real part, incorporate it into the day-to-day living kind of thing. For Virgos, it's in the 3rd house of day-to-day living, and they have short-distance, short-duration travel coming up, and they just want to make sure that they don't backtrack, that they don't go backwards with that kind of a thing. And whatever, they're trying to reach a larger audience with their words, and they need to not be over-ambitious with that. I need to keep that in mind myself. Not to be over-ambitious with that. For Libras, it's in the 2nd house of money, and they have plans in place to make more money. They've been working on that literally for 10 months, but the new things that they've added to their repertoire since probably November or so, now they're going to find out whether or not it's going to pay off or not. It's one thing to create a product, it's another thing for somebody to want to buy it. And you can put a price on a product, but it's really worth what somebody will pay, and they're going to find that out over the next 4 months or so. For Scorpios, this is Jupiter's in their sign, and they have been trying to reinvent themselves, and all of that process is pretty much complete. Now they're going to take that show on the road and see how it plays in Peoria.
Okay.
So rather than trying to grow more, they want to try and solidify the growth that they've already done and keep it at that. And that includes relationships, interpersonal relationships. For Sagittarians, this is energies in their 12th house, and Sagittarians have had a rough time the last 3 years, and they're starting to come out of it. Mars is in their sign, so they're fired up about it. But they have to really be careful not to shoot themselves in their own foot. And that's the trouble with that, because the words just fall out of the Sagittarian's mouth without really thinking about it, and they can do some damage to themselves. They don't, during the next 4 months or so, Sagittarians don't need a worst enemy as long as they're alive, because they can be their own worst enemy. And for Capricorns, it's in the 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And some objective they've been working on, trying to consolidate power through their well-placed friends. They've gone about as far as they can with that, and now they need to see if their friends really come through for them or not. And if not, then they need to make alternative plans.
Gotcha.
And then for Aquarius, the last sign, it's in the 10th house of career and public standing. There's been a huge amount of change professionally for Aquarians, and that change is complete. Now they have to incorporate it into their being. If they still have their job, hooray, they're going to get to keep their job, which is a cool thing. So,
well, yeah.
Yeah. But if they haven't, if they did not keep their job, then they have the next 4 months to find a better one, and they should network to do that. So, the money faucet turns off, but it's only off for 4 months. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Not bad news. Not bad news.
Yeah, but not great news either. I hate it when the money faucet turns off. I like it when it's on and flowing.
We'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure.